Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. For the first week of June, we're going to be talking about each of the Iowa-class battleships on each of their days. 6-1 goes with battleship number 61, USS Iowa, and so on and so forth. Today is June 4th, 6-4, so we'll be talking about battleship number 64, USS Wisconsin. Wisconsin was laid down about a year after New Jersey. She was being constructed in the slipway right next to New Jersey at the Philadelphia Navy Yard. She was launched a year after New Jersey on December 7th, 1943, 2 years to the day after the attack on Pearl Harbor, and 1 year to the day after New Jersey had been launched. The Philadelphia Navy Yard actually managed to get her finished prior to the New York Navy Yard was able to complete Missouri. Wisconsin got into World War II at the end of the war. For her action at the end of World War II, she earned 5 battle stars. Along with Iowa and New Jersey, she was decommissioned shortly after the war, and then brought back for the Korean War. During Korea, she only saw one tour off the coast of Korea, which gave her the shortest time there. And she was decommissioned in the best material condition out of any of the Iowas. When it was decided to bring one back for the Vietnam War, Wisconsin was selected because she had had the most recent yard period. However, when they went aboard her at the Philadelphia Navy Yard, they found that there had been a fire on board the ship while she was in mothballs, and rather than being in the best material condition, she was in fact in the worst material condition. This meant that she was the last Iowa brought back to service in the 1980s, and it wasn't until 1988 that she was recommissioned. She probably had the most work done of any of the Iowas at that time, and she's the only one to have her teakwood deck repaired. The other 3 Iowas entered service with their older teakwood decks rotting out from under them and with very minor repairs to it. Wisconsin's was completely restored. Consequently, she's the only Iowa that hasn't had to work on their teakwood deck as a museum. Wisconsin served in the Persian Gulf with Missouri, and she is famous for her action in that conflict, in which, after Missouri's 16-inch shells bombarded Iraqi troops on Failaka Island, Wisconsin sent a Pioneer drone in to survey the area. The Iraqis couldn't see Wisconsin over the horizon, and they couldn't see the drone above them, but they could hear the little lawnmower engine of the drone and knew that that meant they were about to be targeted by more 16-inch shells. They wisely chose to surrender. This is the only time in history that soldiers have surrendered to a drone or an unmanned vehicle. Wisconsin, like Missouri, being built in the second batch, had the thicker forward and aft bulkheads than their sister ships Iowa and New Jersey. She also received the quadrupod mainmast with the booms for cranes in the late 50s, and was built with the same other modifications that Missouri had, with the full armament of 40mm guns and the squared off bridge instead of the open bridge. Another unique feature about her was her bow, which was actually removed from the battleship Kentucky. Kentucky was being built with an all-welded construction, so Wisconsin's bow is slightly different now than the bows of her other sister ships. Check out tomorrow's video on Illinois and Kentucky to hear that full story. In addition to all the exterior changes that it's easy to see from photographs, there are a tremendous number of interior variation between the various Iowa-class battleships. Having been on all of them, I can tell you that it is similar, but unsettlingly different. For example, Missouri and Wisconsin, even though they were built at different yards, had their library and ship store reversed from what Iowa and New Jersey had. So where we are right now on New Jersey is in fact the store on Wisconsin, and vice versa. And this is just one of a number of differences inside the ships. Even though they're all sister ships, each one is unique on the outside and definitely on the inside. They all have individual configurations. Some of this was unauthorized ship alts and just random things that happened to the ships during their careers. Other things seemed to be designed in, and had been like that since the beginning. So ultimately, Wisconsin had the shortest service life of any of the Iowas, some 14 years all told over 3 commissions. She was probably in the best material condition when the ships were decommissioned. These ships were designed for 20 or 30 years of life, and so she still had some life left in her. This is why she was one of the ships chosen to be retained by the Navy in mothballs for possible future use. She served in this capacity through the period when she was opened as a museum. She is currently a museum in Norfolk, Virginia, at Nauticus. And initially, she was being operated by the museum, but also maintained by the Navy for possible future use. Around 2009, she was stricken from the Navy list and fully turned over to the museum. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you have any comments or questions, drop them down below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to get more information about content we're putting out. And if you like the content we're putting out and want to support the museum, check the description down below for ways you can donate. Happy Iowa Week!